So in this video, I just wanted to address where I'm at, basically as the leader of the Nutbwallers and also a leader in general of being a friend. Now, it's obvious that the second group text incident happened a couple Fridays ago, which led, which caused Robbie, rather, to just back out completely on what appears to be this past, not this weekend, but the past weekend's gathering. And, ultimately, Julio had to deal with a tough situation, which also caused him to back out from this past weekend's gathering. Now, obviously, a Boston Ray showed up. Those are the only two friends that did. And look, here's the one mistake I'll admit that I did not address to these guys. Whenever it comes to such a gathering, like if it's like a birthday of one of my family members, for example, whenever it comes to a real big gathering, like, where there's going to be a lot of people, like, especially if it's my relatives or, friends of one of my family members and all that, you expect the party to be really big, right? So, it's just a lesson learned for me. And, at the same time, it's more of a common sense thing that, if I were to invite any of my friends, I would have to let them know, hey, you got, and these guys have met, my family before, you know what I'm saying? So, it'd be courteous, it'd be generous, to give, if it's a family, if it's like one of my family members, birthdays, and they're doing like a huge, like a milestone party, a huge occasion, for example, 60th, 70th, 80th birthday, whatever it is, or retirement party, then they're not gonna know until I tell them. So for guys like them, this is just for anyone, especially in the future, like when it comes to any of my family member special occasions. And I'm talking about huge occasions, like a huge milestone birthday occasion, whether it's like 50th, 60th, 70th, 80th birthday, or retirement party, or just a farewell, or something like that, like baby shower, you know what I'm saying? So it's it would be a generous, courteous thing, for these guys, to give. It doesn't have to be a big gift. It could just be like a small gift, like for any of my family related occasions, such as this past gathering. So I had to be reminded, and that's mostly on me, just not addressing it to them. And look, I know the second group text incident happened. Yes, I know that I pretty much have just lost my mind, just totally out of it. The following week, just could not be myself, and just had trouble just gathering my thoughts, and to the point where I didn't know what I was supposed to tell my family in terms of Robbie just not going. And that took a long time to just even try to work things out with him. And it only took Thursday and Friday for me to try to reach out to him, and unfortunately he just ignored me. And look, I understand he was pretty upset, okay? So that's not even that's not even an opinion. That was you know, it was a rightful feeling for him to be upset because of that second group text incident. And, Julio too was upset. And he even said it the following day that everyone's fed up with me. That itself is what affected me. And, I already made several videos where I went off on as I doubled down on being a failure of a friend. Now, look, I feel like that following week, I just spent so much time just going off and just being that kind of a friend. And, I did what I did and just, you know, avoiding my friend circle for, a couple of days instead of me just preparing for, the past weekend's gathering in terms of, this is my chance to become a better leader, especially the leader of the Nutbwallers, or being a leader as a friend in general. I've known these guys for a long time, especially a boss since junior high, but it just turns out that like I didn't tell them you know what they were supposed to do. And look, it isn't just what I was told like earlier tonight. you know Even I was told, I want to say this was a warning, but this was just more like a reminder on that. When I was told that same reminder, what was it, back in July, in terms of this gathering that just happened the past weekend, you know, that should already tell me that, hey, you know, the next time I'm gonna invite any of my friends for any of these family occasions, then it's important that they too at least give them a gift. You know what I'm saying? A gift, whether it's for any of their birthdays, like for a huge birthday gathering, or just a retirement party, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever special occasion that is so huge, it's always important that they give a gift as well, because they are my friends. And look, you know yes, they know my family, but at the same time, it's like, hey, well, you know they they don't really like know them like that, you know in that, hey, it's like, I mean, Abbas is known, my Abbas has known my family for a long time. He's been to my house like many times as I've been to his house, even his old place, back then, so many times. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, I mean, because this past gathering was just more like a huge occasion, then I think, I mean, I just did not spend enough time just just reminding them or notifying these guys, like, hey, you know even if it was a small gift, I think it would be great if you can just prepare that and just just bring it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could just be a small gift, and just go from there. You know what I'm saying? Just put it in the bag, and hey, you know here it is. You're a guest to one of my family members, right? You know what I'm saying? So, that's just more on me just not notifying them. And that's because of what happened in the second group text incident. And I know I had so much in my mind. I think I just focused way too much on myself, on just, dealing with the reality that I've been dealing with. Obviously, just so much has just happened to the point where it's like I just spent way too much time just, with all of this, just ranting and just wishing all this and complaining all that, wishing that this and that. I wish I was not in this kind of reality, even though it was back. Just mind you, it was just like on the 22nd that I was back to reality. And then on Sarah's birthday, the night of Sarah Geronimo's birthday, shoot, the second group text incident happened. And that started to make me feel even worse, and that I'm just completely losing focus for what was coming for, this past weekend. I didn't prepare enough, and just telling the guys that they were coming. Then, hey, it's you know that's just more on me, just not reminding them. And so, you know that's just more on, like, just losing it that week because of what I did. Mind you, after what happened with Robbie, you know, telling me he wasn't gonna go no more, and Julio saying that everyone's fed up with me, that just really, it just, distracted my mind so much that I had to just go off on being a failure of a friend. And also, just, I hate to say it, I'm gonna be a little bit brutal here. Blocked my entire friend circle for a couple of days, and I know the last day of the month was coming up. I've given it so much thought, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it, this and that. You know, I told you, man, I'm just mentally corrupt at this point. I told you, this mental pain, it was just so hard to just, to just cure that. Like, I had to keep on enduring it, and this is what happens. I mean, yeah, obviously we all still had a good time, especially with my guys that came like the past weekend. Boston Ray, we still had a great time, this and that, right? But, in the end, it's just, I'm the one that needs to just, that had the reminder. And I was reminded before last month too, that, because it is a family occasion, hey, even a small gift would be great, would be kind and courteous just to give. It doesn't have to be birthday money. It can just be a small gift, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? So that's more on me. That's not really their fault, because I did not notify them. So that's just more on me that I did not address it to them. So I just gotta know that it's a lesson learned from me. And also, I just have to think it's a common sense thing that, because it is a family occasion, whether it's a milestone birthday or whatever it is, what other occasion that may be, that's up to me to address it to these guys, be it it's Ray or Boss, Dewey, Neil, Russ, anyone, even Carlos, and just for the future. So again, what's done is done, and so I just had to be reminded. But this just goes to show that, like, as a leader myself, as of the Nutbwallers, and as a friend, it's just nothing more than a failure, and it has failed drastically. And look, it's been a failure even before the second group text incident, and unfortunately, it's just been an ongoing trend. Especially before the first group text incident. And why you ask, if this has been a failure? The obvious answer is that I'm still in this dump. The ongoing unhappiness and misery is what's causing me to feel like I have not been that friend, especially with the Nutbwallers. They've all seen me in beast mode, like, how many times? To the point where they think, hey, what's going on with Jay? And I even address the problems of being a leader, and just a lot of times just wanting to be out of my friend circle, and it's just come to that. I'm just, the effects are real, dude. Even Paula felt what she felt. It affected her health while she was in that dump. At one point, she lost her hair. I was like, damn, are you dead serious? Like, you literally lost your hair? Man, I'd be interested to know. But yeah, I've no doubt, dude. It's like that dump has caused people like her and Lisa to just, have their health just affected. And look, for people like me, mental health. And so, regardless of how many sessions I have to go through with my therapy and the meds that I'm taking, it's just not enough. For as long as I'm still in that dump. My dump is the center core to all these feelings that I've been feeling, and the fact that it has already destroyed me mentally. You know, and for me, just putting myself in a tough position, just it's why I've been on my two dilemmas here, my outside life and my home life, way too much that I just did not spend enough time just even preparing some guys like how to become better friends in case of if they mess up on something or what have you, or certain situations where, hey, because it is one of my family members' occasions, hey, small gift would be good, something like that. So at the end of the day, man, my leadership is the one that's just it's just crumbling to a fault. So I don't know how I can become, or I can get that back. I'm being the Nutbwallers leader that everyone saw, everyone was used to seeing, and even just as a friend and being the motivator that I was before. So at the end, like I said, all of it is just all the onus is on me. So I'm the one that should have addressed to these guys, so they know, hey, and for this particular family occasion, they gotta because they are my friends, they gotta give them, even if it's just like a small gift, that'll be that. So yeah, man, just I just thought I'd address this, and I'm feeling really sleepy. Don't worry, I'm not gonna sound drunk like I did last time while I was here. And by the way, like as I was reviewing that video where I caught myself falling asleep as I was doing the really short recording, I said shout out to Snoopy for some reason. I was like, shout out to Snoopy, what? And I said some other stuff in there that just was not related to the topic that I was talking about. But anyways, man, yeah, well, I'm not gonna allow myself to do that again here. So I'm very tired though, but I just thought I'd address this. So I just know next time I just gotta be a better leader, and if it has to take small victories, small steps, and so be it. Because I know at any time I'm in that dump, I can never be myself, and it is what it is at this point. It's just more ongoing struggles. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave it at that. My eyes are closing, and I just let me know what you guys think. Peace.